Hey guys, welcome back to SV Basic. We are now in Eureka, California. Well, can we just say that this last passage was interesting? This was not something that we anticipated. Obviously, nobody ever anticipates issues. I mean, it was such light winds, variable winds, sometimes no wind. And right before we go to anchor, the wind has to kick up to 25 knots. But I just feel like it always happens when I am at the helm.
Lynn's at the helm, and we lose steering. The hydraulic ram blows. Now we have no steering, rudders are kicked sideways, we have a rock stuck in our anchor.
Not all the time, but if something is to happen, I'm at the helm. The first time was when we went from Nia Bay to Westport. And what happens? We're doing a nice sail down the coast and we hit a log.
Okay, we got a log up under us right now. We view this as a possibility, and we'll hit one. Looks like it's caught up on our sail guys right now.
So, needless to say, I'm just very happy that Teal is very competent on our boat, and he guided us safely into port. So now we are here, and we are able to get some work done, get some parts in, and just kind of decompress. I mean, we are in no rush to go down the coast, but at the same time, we still want to move. Luckily, England Marine, which is just right here down the block from us, they have the exact ram that we need at another location. So we're just waiting for that to come in. And obviously, we're just kind of getting caught up on some chores. So today I'm doing laundry. It's so nice to have the access and the ability to wash on board without having to schlep everything over to a laundromat. So I'm very grateful for that. Teal now is working on disassembling the ram and figuring out a way to get that rebuilt. Most likely it's a seal that has to be replaced, so we'll just do all of that. And obviously he is not happy with the backup tiller system, so he's going to be redesigning that. I'm kind of excited for that. It's a beautiful day, and Teal is down below.
How you doing?
Is it going to be hard to get out?
No, it should come right out, I think. I should have this out here in about 15 minutes.
I'm timing you.
Well, I told her 15 minutes. We'll see if I can beat that. I don't know. Looks like it'll come out quick. First thing I'm going to do is take off both hoses. I've put down a little drip tray and put down an absorbent pad just in case I make a mess. I'm sure there's going to be fluid coming out. Shouldn't be coming out too much unless somebody touches the helm and starts spinning the wheel, and it should be pumping it out, but I guess we'll see. Okay, the hoses are off, and I've drained as much fluid as I can out of the cylinder. So now it's just a matter of unbolting it, and it should slide right out.
Teal spent most of the morning removing our old ram. So here it is right here. And you know, it's kind of funny because he says that it was only going to be 15 minutes. It took a little bit longer than that. But he left in a rush because our part is in, and so he was a little excited for that. We also picked up an AIS antenna because I don't know if you guys follow us on our AIS tracking, but we noticed the last couple of passages we've been intermittent in our path. So it may be because we're using an old original antenna. So hopefully this will fix the problem. Meanwhile, Emma is testing her luck.
Yeah, I already caught a small one.
She's trying to catch some fish here in Humboldt Bay. Gotta get some dinner. Compass is a little jealous that she gets to go fishing without him. I see you're here.
I'm here. Let's see if this is the right one. I'm not sure what fittings come with this. That's what's going to be interesting. Do I need to get new fittings, or is it going to be compatible? This is the one that I'm anxious for. Oh, and it looks like it's perfect. Look at this. Oh, it's a little different. This is a 1/2 inch. This looks like 5/8. But the bracket, everything else is, let me look at this. Yeah, these fittings are going to be a little different. I could pull these off, put it on here. I could even pull this off and put it on here. I think this is going to work. So after studying these cylinders, there are a few differences, but the overall specs are identical as far as the throw and the mounting brackets. There will be a few things I need to modify to make this work. I need to get a reducer that reduces from a 5/8 down to 1/2 inch. I'll need to also get a few adapters to make it compatible with our hydraulic lines. So it looks like I'll take a trip into town tomorrow morning, get these parts so we can get this installed.
Good night. See you in the morning.
Okay, gonna head on into town. There's a few places walking distance away that I'll try. Hopefully I could get these parts. If I can't get the parts, I'm not too worried. I could use the parts off the old Ram and in a pinch swap them back in an emergency. But my goal is to have 2 separate fully working Rams that I could replace quickly. So see how things go. I've been wandering around Eureka all morning trying to find all these bits and pieces I need. I did pretty good, I think. I found most everything. Unfortunately, not everything was in stock. But the good news is they're being transferred in. I should be able to pick those up later today. So I think we'll be in good shape to get this Ram installed. Let's get back to the boat. Need some lunch. Well, it looks like all our parts are in now. We have all our fittings to make the connection between the cylinder and our hydraulic lines. We'll put those together using hydraulic thread sealant, and we'll have 2 Rams that way. I'm still waiting for a seal kit for this one. We will rebuild this one, and this will be our backup from now on. I have fluid, and we'll start putting this together. It'll be kind of fun, actually, so I'm going to put my best mechanic on it Emma, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this. It's all done and ready to install. My dad helped me a little bit, but I think I did a pretty good job.
Well, I think we're getting pretty close now. I've cleaned up both the faceplate and the backer plates, cleaned up the bolts, all the hardware, put new butyl tape down. I think we're ready to slide this puppy back in. You want me to turn it from this side or do you want it from your side?
I can't turn.
Okay, go ahead and put your wrench on and let me turn. Ready?
Okay, go ahead.
We're home free. Cylinders in. All I have to do is clean up these hoses, make the connection, and bleed the system. Okay, everything went in real smooth. Fittings feel real tight. I feel good about it. There's one last connection to make right here at the end on the ball joint, but I'm waiting for that reducer that's supposed to be here tomorrow morning, and I'll make that. But I don't want to hook this up anyway right now because with it in the loose position, I can work on my temporary steering and give that a test before this is installed. So I'll do that next. So before we left Seattle, I thought about what do we do if we lose our hydraulic steering? So I came up with a plan in my head that I'd put a block and tackle on the tie bar and I'll be able to manually pull it back and forth and steer the rudders. Well, we were forced to implement that backup system when we lost steering at Trinidad Head, and it didn't work. And I know why now. I didn't test it before, and I probably should have. But it was only a 2-to-1 purchase. It wasn't enough force to pull the weight of the rudders and the tie bars and control the steering. But more importantly, the angle that I was pulling was bending that tie bar and binding it in the sleeves. So I've come up with a new system that has a more direct pull. It's a 4-to-1 purchase, and I think it's gonna work pretty slick. Come up with all the parts I need. I ordered them through Fisheries. They sent them overnight to us, so I'll be able to put that together. I wanna make sure that we have a backup system that will work for us in a bind. I don't wanna go through that again. Well, here's all the parts I ordered. While I was waiting for these to come in, I made a couple of tight eye splices in the end of this line. So now it's just a matter of putting all this together and testing it before we make that last connection on the ram. Okay, so here is how our temporary steering now works. I put a nice heavy-duty eye bolt right through the tie bar. With this, I'm able to pull at the correct angle. You look at this. It starts here, goes through a block, through another block, but I'm keeping that pull parallel now to the tie bar, which is going to be so much better. It keeps it from flexing as we're trying to steer. It actually goes up to another block over here. and then it's cammed off over there. So we went from a 2-to-1 purchase to a 4-to-1 purchase. With that extra power and pulling at the correct angle, it's going to be much easier to steer this in an emergency situation. You know, there is one thing left to do. I want to put a transom mount pintle right here. That way I could connect a tiller to this, and that'll give us even more leverage. Okay, it feels good to have a secondary way to steer the boat. You know, we have the new ram is in, we have a backup ram, but in an emergency situation, it takes too long to put that ram in. It would probably take an hour and a half, maybe hour and 45 minutes. But with this pre-rigged up, I could take the nut off that ball socket and have that disconnected in about minute and a half. And with this rigged, I think I could put this in about 4 to 5 minutes. So 5 to 6 minutes, we could have emergency steering. I think that's pretty good. Now that it's all rigged up, I'll just put this away in a nice, convenient place. Hopefully we'll never have to use it, but you never know. So we've had a lot of people ask, why didn't we have a spare hydraulic cylinder on board? Well, you know, as we did the refit on this boat, we replaced most everything. And there was a few items that we didn't replace. And in retrospect, we probably should have, because those are the ones that are biting us in the butt now. But it's hard to justify replacing every single piece of your boat as you do a refit. And we were pretty close to it. A couple items we didn't, and look what happened. You know, we did consider replacing that cylinder about 2 years ago, right before we left Seattle. But we looked at the price, and you know, out the door with the hardware and the fittings, it's $1,250. That's a big chunk just to have a spare. And it looked like it was in great condition, so we gambled. And in this case, we lost. So, lesson learned. You know, from here on out, I'm gonna have a spare cylinder with a rebuild kit. And I'm sure there's other items on the boat that, as we go, we'll learn what we need. We do keep quite a bit of spares on board with impellers and belts and all the common things. But, you know, it's these oddball items that it's a little hard to predict what you need and when you need it. Okay, that's about it for this week. If you liked our video, give us a thumbs up. Maybe refer us to a friend. You know, we want to thank our patrons. You guys are the ones that drive this channel, and without you, it wouldn't be possible. So thank you very much. Come back next week and see what other kind of mischief we're up to. We'll see you then. That's fun, actually, so I'm going to put my best mechanic on it. Emma, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this. It's all done and ready to install. My dad helped me a little bit, but I think I did a pretty good job.